Ayo, it is Izuro Senpai here, and today we are doing another what if. This what if is what if Deku was experimented on, part 6. And announcements, really quick, a few announcements. First off, I am using my headphones, so it might sound weird, and I'm a little bit sick, so those are the reasons why I might sound weird. I'm trying to see if my headphones work better, because I went over last video and a lot of static was being created from me not wearing my headphones. So I'll try it with my headphones this time, go over the video, and see if it's staticky. But yeah, next announcement is that after about 2 to 3 more of these videos of this series, I will be stopping and I will switch to a different series because some people are liking it. Got a good amount of people liking it, I think. But you know, I just want to move on to another one, just because of the fact that this is my first one, and I've gotten better at what if, so I'll be able to have a better storyline next time. But the next what if I'll be doing is called What If Deku Was Homeless. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and everything that I will be doing with it. Now we're done with the announcements, so let's get straight into the video. Oh wait. One more announcement, actually. I am still looking for someone to do intros for me to see if they have any good intros. And if you do, you will be announced. Like you will get a announcement. Not announcement, a shout out. But I only be shouting you out once per intro, just like I do with Godspeed. I announce his name for every new thumbnail. But yeah. Now on with the video. Last time we left off with the training camp arc where Deku fought Muscular and stuff like that. I can't remember exactly what happened there, so you guys are gonna have to go back and go back to the end and check because I can't remember. I remember where we left off. Deku got home, Eri hugged him, and Aizawa and Eri found out about his new power he got with the half light and half dark full body armament type thing. But yeah, so the arc we're going to be covering is one of the training parts, or like test parts kind of, where the students face teachers. So a few days passed, just, doing regular school, and Eri goes out on a date with Deku and they have fun. Just go to Big Joe's. I think there's a restaurant named that. If I am wrong, sorry. Just insert random restaurant that you think would be good for a date. And just have fun and get to know each other a little bit more, even though I know each other pretty well right now. I mean, like personality wise, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, they get closer in their relationship. Now, this next day after the weekend, after they have their date, they get back to school. And Mr. Aizawa gets there a little later after Izuku and Deku. And when Aizawa gets there, he walks in. Everyone was being loud, but they sat down because they did not want to get yelled at by Mr. Aizawa again. So they sat down, and Mr. Aizawa stood in front of the class and says, "We have announcements and some pretty important stuff to go over." And I can't remember what the test was about. I can't really remember. But I think it was a test to see their strength. But yeah. And he just goes over announcements, and then he gets to the part saying the training part, or test, or whatever. So we have a test for you guys. It's not a regular test. We will be doing a physical test. You guys will be notified of what it's about later when the test comes, because we're trying to get you ready for anything. And if we do this, it'll help you be ready for anything when you're out in the field. So, tomorrow when you get to school, meet us at training ground beta. Straight away after you check into class, because I want to make sure everyone's here. But after that, go straight there. Other than that, no other announcements. And they just do school, and They do a little bit of training, okay? So they're training, and Deku and Kirishima wants to fight Deku, and so does Bakugo. And Deku's like, yeah, I'll take you both on at the same time, come on. So, Aizawa clears it, as a little, like, training battle between them. Bakugo and Kirishima versus Izuku Midoriya, or Deku. And those two charge at Deku, and he's just fighting normally. He just uses a little bit of blackness and starts fighting them, makes a black sword, and, is like, when Bakugo tries to throw an attack at him, he changes to a shield and just blocks it. And like Kirishima, he doesn't have to worry about him so much in attack-wise. Like, he's pretty powerful in attacks, but as long as he doesn't get too close, he should be fine, and he can create long-range weapons for that. But he's trying to stay away from Kirishima as much as possible, because Kirishima will pretty much just absorb his attacks. So he's trying to take out Katsuki, or Kacchan. Kacchan blasts at him straight off the bat. Tries to explode him, but Deku dodges, like barely though, because Bakugo has been training, so he's a lot faster. And when Deku dodges, it just misses him. So he grabs Kacchan's wrist and does what he did in the canon at the beginning of the series, with flipping him over his shoulder and stuff, and slams him on the ground. Well, Kirishima comes up behind him and tries to attack him, but he just creates one of his wings and flies up. And just so you know, they do not know about his power, his white power yet, so they just think he's using his black. And well, they know he's only using his black, but they don't know about the white. And they just keep fighting. Well, Bakugo goes after Midoriya, and Midoriya, it creates two black wings, because he's trying to save the white power for, a ace in the hole against the other students, since they don't know about it. So he's trying to save it. And he just flies up in the air. So Bakugo and Deku are in aerial combat right now. And Deku is doing better than Bakugo, because Bakugo doesn't have both hands free, because he has to use at least one hand to keep himself up in the air, where Deku is. And Deku can fly a lot faster than he can and maneuver more, because, But yeah. And Bakugo manages to grab Deku and explode one of his wings that just destroy the wing, and he goes plummeting to the ground. He gets it, but he wasn't too high up, so nothing really bad happens to him that much. And Bakugo flies at him, is about to hit him on the ground with another explosion. And when he's about to do that, Deku dodges, but Kirishima comes up behind him and, hits him with a red gauntlet, I think he called it, or something like that. And so Deku does stumble a little bit, but he backs off. He's thinking, I'm gonna have to use that. So, as you guys know, he's probably gonna use his white power, which he is. And Bakugo and Kirishima regroup, and they're backing up, about ready to attack though, until Deku's hair turns white and black, half white, half black, just like Todoroki's, except for white and black and not white and red. So his hair turns white and black, and everyone's like surprised. Everyone except for Eri and Aizawa, because they already seen what he looks like with it. And Bakugo's like, I gotta attack him before he unleashes that. I don't know what it is, but gotta attack him. So he goes and tries to attack him, but he just gets stopped by a wall made of darkness and light. And he tries to blow it up, but considering it's reinforced with darkness and light, he just blows through it. No, he can't blow through it. And so Bakugo, he has to go over the wall. So he gets over it. But Deku's already finished his transformation, and everyone's surprised because he now has a white wing and a black wing with a full body Like half his body is completely white and half his body is completely black. Like, think about Asta from Black Clover, kind of like half his body, you know, his black mark goes around. His black is that color. And I guess think about that sounds weird. The guy from Black Clover, Asta's brother, not you know. That's confusing. But yeah, think about him, his greenness, except white, more of a white color, because I don't know anyone that has a white that covers their body. But yeah. And Izuku, so he attacks them, and he uses a white and black sword and just hits Katsuki, which makes him go flying. But Katsuki catches himself and starts charging at Deku again. And Kirishima sees this, and Bakugo gives Katsuki a look. Bakugo gives Kirishima a look, so Kirishima is like, okay, because they've been practicing an ultimate move together, like a mixed ultimate move. And what happens is, since Kirishima's skin can be a lot harder than concrete, they are using that to their advantage. It does take a toll on Kirishima and Bakugo, but it's worth the risk because it knocks out their opponent pretty quick. Usually, at least. Not with this guy, not with Deku, because he's going to have a countermeasure. And so Bakugo flies up, grabs his arm, and before he can hit him away or anything, Deku does try to hit him away. He fails, and Bakugo does the same thing he did in canon with Deku when they were fighting, because Bakugo brought him out and started saying, like, he's the one that ended All Might and stuff. Wait, did I end All Might in this one yet? Did he lose his power? I don't know. Okay. Oh, by the way, the person that said they wanted me to give him One for All, I am going to give it to him. And since I gave it to Mirio, he's going to have it right now. Mirio's going to have it, but you'll see what I'll be doing. And some Mirio fans are going to kill me. I can already hear some of the comments that I might get about what I'm going to do to Mirio in the near future, like in the next video or something. But yeah, he does what he does in canon, throws him to the ground with an explosion going upwards, you know. And they're heading to the ground. Well, Kirishima's right under them, and he hardens his body as hard as he can. Like, he's already unlocked his full red riot, I think it was, or something. The thing where he hardens his skin so hard, like, barely anything can punch through it. Like, he fought Ramta with it in Season 4. But yeah, and they hit together. Not hit together, they're about to hit together, about 2 feet away, when Deku just uses his eye and freezes time. He moves out of the way, and he backs up. He creates white and black splashes, but he has a little trick up his sleeve that he figured out. These slashes are not going to actually physically hurt them. Like, they're going to hurt them, but not physically to where they're hurt. Like, basically, they're just draining all of their energy. Like, go right through them and drain their energy. And when he moves out of the way, does that, and then freezes time. Bakugo and Kirishima collide, so Bakugo is pretty hurt right now. Because, you know, it was a pretty powerful attack meant for Deku, but it hit Bakugo, got it instead. And they're surprised, and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about his time freezing technique thing. And Deku, he's back there. A bunch of slashes hit Kirishima and Katsuki. And they just fall to the ground to their knees because they're completely worn out because that blast just took away all of their energy. Like, think about it like this. If he were to hit Muscular with it, Muscular wouldn't even be able to form, like, barely any muscle. Like, maybe a little bit, but not much because of all the energy that's been taken away. And Bakugo can't really move that much because, you know, he was straining his hands, and Kirishima did just get hit by a big blast of Bakugo hitting him in the face with his head and all that from slamming into him. And Aizawa says Izuku Midoriya wins, and Izuku wins. So yeah, that ends, and I just put that in for a little bit of entertainment instead of going straight to that battle arc, because if I did that, it would be pretty short, considering I'm not going to really go over anyone's battle except for Bakugo's and Deku's, because no one else is going to change. So yeah, the next day I walk into class, and Bakugo and Deku are walking in together this time because Eri went on ahead because some girls stopped at their house and said they wanted to walk to school together and just talk about girl things before they got to school. So yeah, that happened, and they walk into class, and Mr. Aizawa was already standing at the front of the class, waiting for everyone to be ready to head to Ground Gamma, or I think it was called Ground Gamma at least. But yeah, and he says, okay, everyone's pretty much here, so I'm heading to Ground Gamma, and when everyone else arrives, you start heading there. So everyone arrives, and they head over to Ground Gamma, meeting Mr. Aizawa and a bunch of pro heroes. I know there was Midnight, Cement Toss, Headshot, All Might, Nezu, obviously Aizawa. I'm not sure about, Present Mike. I think that was all of them. Can't be 100% sure. But if I didn't get them all, then sorry. But I can't really remember the anime off the top of my head, even though it is my favorite anime. But yeah. So the students are confused, like, hey, I thought we were doing a test, and why are all the teachers here? I mean, do you really need this many teachers for a small test? And so I was like, this isn't some small test. Well, I guess it is. We're just testing your capabilities, but it's still a pretty big test in the long run, because it shows us teachers how much you've improved and how much you need to learn. It also will help you get a radar on how much you can handle. And they're like, so what are we doing anyways? I mean, what do we need this many teachers for? And it must be something kind of complicated or something, as Momo says. But yeah, so Aizawa speaks up and he says, well, you will all be facing us teachers. And everyone's surprised, like everyone's like, what? This isn't fair. You guys are pro heroes. Asmina is like, freaking out. And like, you guys are pro heroes, we can't fight you. I mean, you guys are really, really powerful. There's no way. And they're like, don't worry, we'll be putting a handicap on us teachers. We'll be wearing these weights that will slow us down, and All Might will get the biggest weights considering how strong he is. So they put weights on everyone. I'm not sure if they actually put weights on Nezu, because, he's already pretty small. I don't know how strong he is exactly. I mean, it was pretty scary how he just started drinking the tea, like all that weird stuff, Oh, how he drank that tea during the battle, but yeah. They might have put it on him. But whatever. So everyone's surprised, and they're getting assigned to who they're fighting, and it was Sero and Mineta against Midnight, Kirishima and Mina, I think? No, Kirishima, Mina, and Dark Tokoyami against Cementos, Tail Guy, Ejiro, I think his name was, and Invisible Girl against Edshot. Oh yeah, there was 13 as well. Uraraka and Sparkly Bout Boy against 13. And obviously Deku and Bakugo versus All Might. I can't remember where everyone else went, or if I even said all those right. Sorry if I did. Sorry if I didn't, But yeah. So they head to the grounds, and they're gonna, this time, I don't know if they do this in the anime, but everyone's gonna watch each other's fights. So everyone is surprised of how everyone did. But then it comes to Bakugo and Deku's fight, and this one they are more friends, so they're not gonna fight as much. They have a little bit of a fight because Bakugo still does have his ego. But yeah, so they walk in and everyone's like on their edge of the seat because it is All Might that they're facing. So everyone's surprised that everyone's surprised that they're facing All Might because he is the #1 hero. So if I did take out All Might, I'm sorry, but let's just say they did take him out, okay? If they did, I'm not sure if they did or didn't, but if they did, I'm sorry. And we'll just say he can only transform for 15 minutes, so we'll say this battle can only last around 15 minutes before he deflates. So he actually can't do any hero work though, because he got fired, not fired as pro hero, but he got taken down just because they didn't want him to die. So yeah, let's just go with that, because I knew how short his limit was. But yeah, so Deku and Bakugo walk in there, and Bakugo and Deku actually strategize this time because Bakugo isn't a big egotistic maniac that wants to fight the #1 hero by himself, which is quite stupid even if you have a giant ego. I mean, someone should not have that big of an ego. Even if you don't like the guy you're with, you should still work with him if you're facing the #1. I mean, that's just stupid not to, unless you're really, really, really strong. But Bakugo is really strong, but not that strong compared to All Might. But yeah. So they strategize and they come up with a plan. So, what they have happen is they make a bunch of obstacles out of Deku's light and darkness, because he can create more and more, just so he can't have too much on his body. Other than he can cover his whole body, but he can't have more darkness than light or light than darkness when he's using both at the same time. But he can have more of each if he has it separate from his body. But yeah, so they put obstacles so they can maneuver around them now, and Bakugo has more of a Bakugo space to fight in, so he can maneuver around and dodge All Might's punches while they're hitting the walls instead of hitting him. Now think about this, giant walls are going up in the air, except they're only 5 feet long, and there's 50 of them or 100 of them around in a tighter space. And Deku could do this because he could seep it into the ground, and they'll head there soon, and that's where their fighting ground would be. So they have a plan for Bakugo to, actually I won't spoil it, you guys will just have to listen to the battle. So Bakugo heads there first, and he goes right in the middle, because the middle is open, the middle has no walls. And All Might sees there's a bunch of walls there, and he's like, so what is this? Because he doesn't know what's going on. He knows that there's something to do with Bakugo, because he knows he can maneuver around quite well in those kinds of space he's in right now. And he's like, this might actually work for them, because he has the weight, so it's making him slower, and the walls will be protecting Katsuki a lot more. And we're gonna say that they're gonna have Deku sitting on top of the roof, one of the roofs, hiding, and extending the walls out when Bakugo's about to get hit, the darkness on the walls and the lightness on the walls. When Bakugo's about to get hit, so it blocks the punch, at least tries to most of the time. But All Might shows up there and tries to punch Bakugo. Bakugo dodges and does that thing he did to Deku in Canon, where he flips over him with a blast right after he fired that giant explosion, But he flips over him and hits him in the back with an explosion, and boosts away behind one of the walls while All Might turns around and tries to punch him, but hits one of the walls instead. And All Might starts getting even more confused because the walls start circling, think about, I don't know, a, think about, like, a penny sitting on top of a nickel, and the nickel sitting on top of the quarter, and the quarter sitting on top of a half a dollar, you know, like a $half quarter, and that $half quarter sitting on top of a full dollar money, you know, full dollar quarter type thing. But yeah, and the walls are going up, and all of the walls are on the edges of the pennies and stuff, pennies and all the quarters and everything. And the coins are all spinning around, so the walls are like spinning around All Might. And it's also helping Bakugo because Deku can open like a hole in the wall so that he can go so he can go straight through, and they have communication. I'm not sure if they got it in the actual anime or they got the communication pieces, but let's say they got it this time. So they start fighting, and Bakugo's going through the walls and hitting All Might, while All Might's trying to defend himself and trying to beat Bakugo, but he's kind of failing right now because, you know, he's pretty weak still because of his loss of time. And Bakugo's doing it and doing it and doing it until when Bakugo tries to do it one more time, All Might grabs Bakugo and it slams him on the ground, which breaks one of his gauntlets, and then picks him up and throws him. And he shoves him out of the walls so he can't use them anymore. And All Might jumps out of the walls, like jumps up and over them so he doesn't get caught in them or something. But he about to hit Bakugo. When Bakugo's gauntlet, it charges up, so he points the gauntlet and pulls. All Might gets shot by a gauntlet, but he was flying back, and then sorry, it's late for me. But All Might goes back, and then he stops himself from going back too much further and charges at Bakugo. But then, as soon as he's about to punch Bakugo in the face, Deku appears out of nowhere with his wings and lands on lands on All Might, stopping him, like hitting him into the ground, cracking him to the ground. And All Might's trying to get up, but Deku just restrains his whole body enough to where he can't even move, and they're all reinforced as best as Deku can get it, like reinforced harder than steel. And they just put the handcuffs on him, and they win. And everyone's surprised because they just beat the #1 hero. So everyone's cheering for them at the other side of the monitor screen, and everyone's happy. So yeah, it's only 27 minutes, huh? No, I'll move on to the the overhaul arc. And just so you guys know, I don't know if I'm going to do the provisional license arc yet, because I don't know if I want to do that, because to me it's kind of boring, but I still might do it. But I might do it. Sorry, I ain't doing the full I'm trying to think. Yeah, full overhaul arc just yet. I'll be finishing an next video, but I'll do a little bit this time, like into a little bit. You guys know when I'll stop, but yeah. So they win, and the teachers, they have a meeting about students, and they talk about all the students of how they did, and they say that Uraraka's team passed with flying colors because, like, when Aoyama asked Uraraka if he liked Deku, not Deku, Bakugo, because, you know, she likes Bakugo in this one, and she just, like, blushes and puts her hand on her face, which reflects Skull with Pole, and she does the same thing in the thing where she, like, I don't know that move that she did, but whatever she did to 13 in the canon. And she passes, her team passes with flying colors, even though there wasn't much strategy, so they didn't get full points, like, you know. And his team, they passed pretty well, but Sero, Ew, sorry you guys. My sister knocked at the door and I had to talk to her about something. She wanted me to get her Fortnite, but as you guys may know, it's kind of hard to get Fortnite right now because it's not really on phones, I mean. So, if you want it on a phone, I couldn't get it for her. But that's because she has a Apple. She had a Samsung and I could get it, but can't do it with an Apple. But yeah. But that's where we left off before I had to go for a second there. Oh my goodness, stop freaking yawning. Where we left off last time, before I had to go for a second, we were talking about the scores. So I think we were talking about Sero and Mineta. Sero and Mineta, they passed, but Sero got a pretty bad score for the fact that he was pretty knocked out pretty quick. Surprisingly, Mineta got a better score than Sero, and he even got a better score than Uraraka, just because of the fact he went back to save his friend, even if he could have left him there. If it was an actual villain attack, Sero could have died, so that's why he got a lot of points. And his strategy he used. But yeah, the next one, I think it was Todoroki and Momo versus Aizawa. They get pretty good colors because pretty good points because they both strategized and stuff like that. Can't remember exactly what happened, but you know, I remember the abridged pretty well with the Legos and stuff, but I can't remember the full thing of the regular anime. So yeah. Now, on with the overhaul arc. So, Deku and everyone is sitting in their classroom the next day when Aizawa comes in, late as usual, but still comes in, and tells everyone that they're going to do a hero study, I think it was called, or internships, I think. Whatever it was, they called it. With the, where they went to where he went to Night Eye's agency. Ooh, calm down. Okay. Now, I am actually not gonna have him go to Night Eye's agency in this one. He's actually gonna go Fat Gum with Kirishima. He's gonna go to Fat Gums with Kirishima. Okay. But here's what we're gonna do. Deku is sitting in class and Aizawa walks in and he explains the internships and everything. And the big three walk in, because I think they did. This is when they walked in, I'm pretty sure, not the other time when Deku did the internship with Gran Torino. Right? But this time instead it was the internship with Shadow Guy. But yeah. They walk in and they do their same speech where everyone does not get what Mirio was talking about, and they're all confused about what the bubbly girl, Nejire, which is one of my favorite girl characters. Go Nejire. But yeah. So what you call it? Yeah, Tamaki, of his like shyness, is like, I don't feel good in big crowds, and thinks of them as potatoes, I think. And he sees potato heads, which I would have laughed hysterical at. I hope that wasn't the anime. Not the anime, the abridged part of the anime. Can't remember. But whatever. But we'll say he pictures potatoes, to try to calm himself down. But, okay, on with the thing. And Mirio goes into a simpler term, but they still don't get it. So Aizawa explains and says what he means. Can't remember what he meant, but says what he means. And he says, okay, Mirio here wants to give you guys a little test. I honestly don't care if he does or what he does, as long as he doesn't make you guys so you're in the hospital for a week. But yeah, and everyone freaks out about this. They're like, what is he planning on doing to us? And Mineta's like, I don't want to fight this guy. And cries, regular Mineta, his little perviness and all that. By the way, Mineta might get a big whack from Deku soon. You guys will see why, and you guys probably know by now what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so they follow him out to the same place they did in canon, where they fought, and they're gonna fight in this one too. Except everyone is gonna get knocked out of Deku. He will get knocked out, probably not yet. Okay, so here's what happens. Deku and everyone goes there, and Mirio explains he's gonna fight them all. And everyone's like, he's crazy, he's gonna lose, and they think he's just being cocky. And Aizawa says, yeah, go ahead. And Ninja is cheering Mirio on, and Tamaki is like, make sure you don't overdo it like you usually do. Which he's still gonna overdo it. And he turns on his quirk, and his clothes fall off, okay? And Jiro's standing in the front, and she's like, and that just knocks her out, okay? We're gonna say that just knocks her out. And Kaminari's like, that's a mean tactic, dude. Don't do that. That's disgusting. I mean, it's like, good job. And he's like, that was on accident. I'm sorry, but he sinks into the ground and starts taking everyone else out. And we'll say that Bakugo did last a little bit longer in this one, because he didn't go straight for him, and actually kind of strategized, which surprised Mirio, but not, like, let's say it surprised him as much as it did as Deku did, But Deku's standing at the back, strategizing, when Bakugo was only about the middle, and as Mirio gets up to him, he predicts the same thing where he's going to come up behind him. So he turns around and tries to hit Mirio, but Mirio just phases right through his attack. But we're going to give Deku a little advantage here. So he sees this, and he backs away. And Mirio, he's like, you're the kid that took on Muscular in the training camp, and I'm not sure. No, he did not take down the Nomu, I don't think. No, he didn't. But he also says, you're the one that also fought the Nomu. And he's like, I'm not going to hold back against you. And he activates One for All, because like I said, he has it. And the person out there, I will give it to Deku, and you'll see why, and the Mirio people that love him, I'm sorry. But yeah. So Mirio goes after him and just keeps phasing through his attacks, and Deku keeps getting hit and hit and hit, but he's not knocked out yet, because he is covering himself with black and white armor, because he knows he cannot mess around against the most powerful person in the school, at least out of the students. So Deku, he's trying to dodge and stuff. He is failing, but he makes some distance between them. Mirio sinks underground. And Deku's thinking of what he could do. And he's like, I can absorb energy with my hits. I wonder if I can absorb his energy even if he phases through my attack. So when Mirio comes up, he's about to attack Deku. Deku just freezes time. Does the same thing he did to Kirishima and Bakugo, except with a lot more slashes just to be safe. And it hits Mirio, and it does take his energy away. But not as much, because we'll say that One for All gave him a boost along with his quirk, so he was able to keep fighting, but just barely. And Deku's dodging and weaving and all that, trying to block attacks, and he gets knocked out. So Mirio's like, one. Tamaki's sitting over there like, you need to learn how to hold back. And Edgar just cheering him on like, go, go, Mirio, good job, Mirio. Bubbly attitude, But yeah, and everyone wakes up, and Deku's confused what just happened, what happened to him, and they explain he just got his butt beat by Mirio. Was it Mirio? I feel like I said that wrong. I don't know why I feel that I said that wrong. I think I said it right though, Mirio. But yeah, and because I feel like it, I'm not gonna do that, never mind. I was gonna do something, but I don't know if I'm going to. I might. But yeah. And, the big three leave, and Aizawa talks more about the internships of how they're really important and and all you guys need to learn about how to do them, and guys do not like. Actually, I'm not gonna say that because then you guys look. But yeah, but he says all this stuff about the thing and said, unlike the part with the one part. Oh my goodness, the part with oh, I feel so stupid right now. I'm trying to think. You know, the first part where with Deku going with the shadow and everything. He says, with that part, you guys only did a little bit. You guys didn't do much hero work. But in this one, you are actually going out on the field and learning more about what to do. So you guys need to be ready and responsible. If you mess up once in this, it could impact your career at UA, depending on how bad you mess up and what happens. Because say if a villain attacks and you mess up and someone gets killed, there is a possible chance that, that you could be expelled from UA. Just want to let you guys all know that, so you guys will be more cautious. And they're like all like a little bit freaked out right now, like, ooh, big weight on our shoulders right now. Gotta calm down and fight through this, you know. And I was like, okay, I better not be perfect this time, even though he's going to. He's Renetta, you know. But yeah. And the next day they arrive and they're choosing their internships. And Mirio does offer Deku the offer to go to Niai, but Deku's like, no, thank you, but I'm not going to take that offer. I want to learn from someone else. And Mirio does respect him and says, okay, I understand. Then says goodbye and says, you know, have a good one. And is all happy and determined voice and all that. But yeah, so Deku's looking through the list of people because in this one they did get requests, and just going through and he sees one called Fat Gum, and he does know that hero, like not personally, but knows about him. He's like, I might go with that one, just because he can absorb shock, and he's going to try to see if he can make his armor more durable against attacks and stuff. Oh, and he's gonna beat Overhaul's butt in this one, like just gonna like whoop it, like worse than in Kenny. He'd be like, wham, you dead. Not dead, but you know, he'll be pretty badly injured. So yeah, but Deku, and he's like, I'm gonna go with Fat Gum. So he goes with Fat Gum, returns his request in, and they find out. Okay, by the way, I'm just gonna. I feel stupid. Okay, we'll say that Overhaul did escape from jail because I said that he got taken out, but we'll say he escaped from jail and now he's using a different child. We'll say he's using a child that can. We'll say it's like. Give me a second, someone's knocking on my door again. Sorry guys, I'm back, but he's using a different girl, and this time this girl has like a quirk like Shigaraki's, so we'll say that he has more evil intent this time, and that he's making bullets just like in canon, but when the bullets hit them, their quirk, instead of just disappearing, it just disintegrates the quirk itself. Kind of like disappearing, but disintegrates it so bad that Eri wouldn't even be able to rewind it back. It's that powerful. And if it's a mutation quirk, it disintegrates the person altogether. So it's pretty dangerous. But yeah. So I got that cleared up for any confusion, because I just realized what I did. But now I just fixed it so it works. You know. Okay, so they go with their respective places, and we'll say that Eri went with the dragon girl, with the Uraraka, because I feel like doing it. And we'll say that Bakugo gets to do an internship with... I don't know. Okay, we'll say he does it with Rocklock, just for the fun of it. Because we want him to be in this, I want him to be in this because I want him to get mad when Uraraka gets hurt. Like, because I want to see, I want to like put a little rage in this where Bakugo goes out of control on an exploding murder spree. But yeah, so he goes with Rocklock. And Kirishima goes with who he goes with, and so does Asui. She goes with the Dragon Hero. So there's those three with the Dragon Hero. There's Bakugo with Rocklock, Deku and Kirishima with Fat Gum, and no one goes with Night Eye. Like, Mirio goes with Night Eye, but no Class 1A students go with Night Eye. But yeah. And they head to their respective agencies. So they get there about a week later, let's say. Okay? So they get there about a week later to their respective agencies, and they say bye to each other and head there. They get there. Deku gets to his agency with Kirishima, surprisingly. And they're happy to know that they're going to the same places and stuff. So they meet Fat Gum, and Fat Gum trains them for a few days about how to use their quirks better, because they teach Kirishima and Deku how to absorb more and try to, minimize the damage on their body or armor. So they learn that, so Kirishima will know how to do that. And since he already has the hardening part, I'm going to make him even harder. That sounded really wrong. I am not saying that ever again. No, it sounds like something Mineta would say. I'm going to shut up now. Just kidding, but I'm going to keep going. I'll make him even tougher to where his skin cannot be pierced as easy. Like, Rampa's going to have more trouble doing that to him, because he's still going to have the fight against Rampa. But yes, so that is going to happen. No, I just felt like doing that voice. I don't know why. But yeah. And after that, they go out on their patrols, just like in canon with Tamaki. And Tamaki's putting himself down and all that, and Kirishima tries to lift his spirits, so does Fat Gum and Deku. And they're walking, and the same thing happens where they run into the villains, and they take care of them, just like in canon. But when the guy points the gun out to try to shoot Tamaki, we'll say that Deku notices this before he even shoots the bullet. So, but he's too late, and it does hit Tamaki, but it's not permanent, just like in canon. So, and he wasn't using his mutations yet, so he didn't get disintegrated, just so you know. Because Tamaki's is kind of like a mutation, but not exactly. It's also kind of an emitter type thing. I'm not sure, but we'll say it's not, and it is. But it appears only sometimes, and he can only be disintegrated when it shows up, when he's using it. So he doesn't get disintegrated, but he loses his quirk just like in canon for a few seconds. And we'll say that Deku and Kirishima go after the guy, but another guy shows up and takes on Deku, and we'll say this guy has we'll say that this guy would be a match for Deku's strength here. You know what? I'll say that he is really well built, and he has a quirk that, like, we'll say it's just like Fat Gum's in a way, except he doesn't have to get fat to use it, and it's not hits that start to make him even stronger with his hits. So every hit he makes, it gets even harder. Like, every time he hits the object he's hitting, his hits get more powerful every time he hits. So he's taking on that guy, and everyone's watching, and he's trying to protect the civilians because civilians were close by, and we'll say there's a child behind him. So Deku does have to persevere and fight the guy without him having to back up, because there's a child on the ground crying right behind him, and his mother or father are nowhere to be found. So he fights him and takes him out, okay? But it was hard because the guy started cracking his armor and stuff, but Deku, he's like, I gotta keep going, and starts getting angry and keeps fighting. And this is where something happens. His armor, dark and light, combined into one. So it's like there's a swirl in the middle of the armor, on the front and back. So now he has a swirl piece, Like, think about Naruto's seal almost on his stomach, except on the outside, and it's on his thing, and it's black and white. But yeah. So he takes him out, and just like what happens with Kirishima, same thing. He protects his feelings behind him, and gets hurt. Not hurt. He almost gets hurt, but he hardens his body even harder, because we're gonna say the guy was even stronger than in canon when he used the quirk boosting thing. And we're just gonna say that the guy that Deku fought did not use that, because I just want to get that part over with, because we're just going over this for the convenience of the bullet, and that's all. But yeah, that ends, and they make their debut, and everyone's excited for these new heroes to bloom and blossom and become stronger. But so they do that, and they go back to school for a bit after they learn about the bullet. They go back to school thinking everything's fine, because, you know, and we'll say that the Fat Gum goes over the DNA and finds out it's human blood and all that crap. Tells Nadai, and they come up with a plan. But then, before they could even think about attacking the place of where they think it might be manufactured at, which they were wrong, Deku and Kirishima and Fat Gum are on patrols. And this time, the little girl runs out and hits Deku on accident. Runs into Deku. And we'll say that Deku notices that when she accidentally touched one of his pieces of his clothing that were just sticking out a little bit, it disintegrated. Didn't disintegrate his whole clothing, but it was just a tiny little piece that was sticking out that, not important, you know? But he notices that, but he picks the girl up and says, "Are you okay?" And Overhaul walks up, and the same thing happens in canon. Not in canon. Same thing that happens in canon happens here with her, except for Eri. And with this girl, that happened with Eri. So Deku feels defeated, and so does Kirishima. But Kirishima and Fat Gum knew that they had to persevere and not walk up to him. So he told the two boys not to do anything. So they trusted that guy's instincts and followed along. So they let the girl go, and Deku feels defeated, just like in canon. And everyone's noticing this, and so does Kirishima. He looks defeated. And Mirio's like trying to figure out what's going on, but they're not talking. They just want to be left alone. And they train even harder, though, trying to make sure Eri's okay. Not Eri. We'll call the girl, we'll call her Ri. Ri. Or actually, let's call her Yui. Let's call her Yui from let's use the Sora Online name and call her Yui, because that's a name I'm actually going to remember. So, yeah. Well, let's call her Yui, and they're trying to save Yui. So they get called in for a meeting, and Rocklock does bring Katsuki with him. So Katsuki's in this. And Dragon Girl brings everyone she brought last time along with Eri, and Fat Gum brings Kirishima and Deku and Tamaki. Oh yeah, and Dragon Girl also brought Neji, right? And what's her face? His face. Nedai brought Mirio. But yeah, so he brings Mirio. And in this one, they talk about the things about the girl and come up with a plan to fight. And it isn't Rocklock this time that says, "Why are kids here?" Let's say it's someone that doesn't know them. You know what? We'll say it was... I'm trying to think. Think. We'll say it's Mount Lady, okay? Not Mount Lady. She won't be even useful unless she's there. I'll say it's Midnight. Midnight says, "Why are kids here?" And it can't be Midnight. She knows what they're capable of. So she would believe in them. Give me a second. I'm going to go think for a second. Okay. We'll say it was Kamui Woods. That's the person that says, "Why are kids here?" and gives a whole lecture about, weak kids shouldn't be in this thing and all that. And they explain how these kids are the ones that found out about this, and they're the only reason why we're able to even come up and fight against the place, and they're the only reasons why we actually found the Chisaki base. But Eri and Deku are hesitant about this, about going. Because, like, after they hear Chizuki, they didn't realize who it was. I will say that Chizuki did not recognize Deku because he was wearing a mask over his face. But Deku knew who he was straight away and just held back from attacking him. Okay? And Naida also stands up and he says, we also have 2 people in here that were also treated horribly by treated horribly by Chizuki and taught as, like, experiments. And everyone's, like, wondering who it is, like, because Fat Gum doesn't know, and neither does Ryuku, I think her name was. Or, let's call her Dragon Girl again. Dragon Girl didn't know either. So, she tells the 2 people to come out, and Eri and Deku walk up, and everyone's surprised, because I don't think I told everyone about what happened with them, so we'll say that no one knows about what happened with them, not even their classmates. So, Bakugo knows, though, because he's closer to them. So, every student there, along with every person in the room, was shocked, except for Bakugo, and Night-Eye, and Aizawa, because Aizawa knew. But, yeah, everyone's shocked, and they're like, how do you guys even escape? And they said how they were saved by All Might, and explained the whole situation, and everyone's surprised, and so Kami Woods comments, then why are they here? Shouldn't they not be near the sky? Aren't they going to have traumatizing thoughts? And Deku stands up and he says, well, if Eri wants to go, I am fine with that. I ain't going to comment about it. But I am not leaving. I met the little girl that was being treated like that, and when I saw her, I thought of myself and Eri when we were like that. And I know how much pain we were going through then. And it's probably twice as worse for her because he's mad now that he was taken down once. So he's trying better and faster to do stuff. So he's going to make more mistakes also. But that's not the point. He'll be doing more damage to that little girl. And everyone's like surprised about this. And they're like, yeah, how much damage did they do to you anyways? And Deku lifts up his shirt and they see all the scars and everything, because he didn't show anyone his under his shirt until now, except for Eri and them. He lifts his shirt and everyone's surprised. They're like, dude, all commenting how those are a lot of scars. You must have gone through a lot, and they're all pitying him right now. But he's like, please don't pity me. We need to save this girl, no matter what. And he looks over to Eri and says, Eri, I'm okay if you leave. And Eri shakes her head, no, I want to save the little girl as well, because I know what pain I went through, and I don't want her to go through the same pain, or even worse pain than we went through. And Izuku, he shakes his head and says, okay. And everyone looks at them and says, fine, we'll let the kids stay. Or at least Kawami says that he's fine with the kids staying, since he found out this. And so that ends. And you know what? I'm gonna end the video right here. I can't really tell exactly how long it is, just for the fact that I had to stop the video right in between, and I accidentally stopped recording completely. So I'm just combining 2 videos into one and making it one. It's gonna sound like it's only one, most likely, but yeah. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you liked it. And remember, I'm still looking for someone to do intros for me. Please. I will also be accepting thumbnail makers, but Godspeed is still going to be my main thumbnail maker. Just so everyone knows, like, he's my main go-to person for that. So I'll always be going to him first, but, like, I want backups just in case he's not available for any reason. So yeah. I also want some more thumbnail makers, but they'll be backups, mainly. So yeah, I hope you guys will consider this, and if you do want to be an intro or thumbnail maker, make sure you comment down below about everything. But the first person that I say is going to be my intro maker is going to be my main 2 intro maker, and I'll have other intro makers, but they'll be my backups. But because I'll use multiple intros sometimes, like, I don't use too many, but I'll use a few every once video. But yeah, have a good day, stay safe, do Do not catch that stupid corona that's going around. Hope you are having fun with your family and spending time with people that you love. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video in part 7 of What If Deku was experimented on.